Hi, good morning, and welcome to this ZP quick webinar, quick video really on measuring resinferatoxin. If you don't know about resinferatoxin, this is a active pharmaceutical ingredient, often put in creams as a sort of topical medicine for pain relief, probably in inflammatory diseases like arthritis. So just a quick comment that you will be seeing the use of this Sensi All platform this morning. I just want to say, and I know this will be quite small, that the Sensi All is a kind of handheld device that can be used for measuring active pharmaceutical ingredients in things like the manufacturing of small drug-like molecules. But we'll discuss that in a little bit. So this is not one of those kind of videos where it'll all just be talk and slides. And in fact, I have two demos to do for you today. So if you hang on, we'll actually do the measurement of resinferatoxin shortly. My colleague is in our labs, not in the fume hood, but she's working from the fume hood. So you'll see all that shortly. So hang on for essentially the last third of this, because you'll see a live demo of measuring resinferatoxin. But as I say, you'll see the Sensi All platform used this morning. You'll see some biosensors used. So I'm just going to hold up a biosensor to my camera now. So you'll see these guys used. We'll do a couple of demos. I'll do one from where I am, and then Solron will do one on resinferatoxin. We'll do two because I can use a surrogate molecule that's pretty structurally similar to resinferatoxin, but because I'm not in a lab setting, I can't actually handle resinferatoxin from this lab setting. You'll see the fact that we actually drive this device using a smartphone app. The smartphone's great because it both makes Bluetooth with the hardware, and it also forms a conduit on the Wi-Fi to a cloud system where we save all the data. Resinferatoxin is not a unique molecule. I mean, it sort of has a sort of, I wouldn't say a generic structure, but these structures are in sort of pharmaceuticals are quite conserved. That we have an aromatic ring here, and we have like a couple of heteroatoms, and this kind of structure means that these molecules are detectable on the Sensi All platform. But it's not only detectable; it's also quantifiable as well. So as I say, resinferatoxin, like many pharmaceuticals, has a kind of aromatic ring and has these heteroatoms. So I sort of say that because even though we're going to do a very specific both detection and quantification this morning, don't let your mindset think that this is the only kind of target that we can necessarily address. And so I've put some of the sort of major small molecules up onto the screen here as well. Detecting resinferatoxin, as I mentioned, there's a Sensi All platform, so I'll do a demo on this in a minute, but you'll see me put the sensor onto the instrument. You'll see me take 50 microliters of sample. So I think this is particularly pertinent to the pharmaceutical industry. Maybe you would argue in manufacturing and quality control, sample size or sample is not so limited, but I would often suggest that actually pharmaceuticals are intrinsically quite valuable. You don't want to waste material on an analysis. So I'll be putting a 50 microliter drop onto the sensor when we do the detection. You'll probably see me use a QR code so I can identify the correct assay that I want to run this morning. The app will run the meter. The meter will give the data back to the app. All the raw signal goes back to the app, and the raw signal is then sent by the app via the Wi-Fi to the cloud called Julie, where we process the data. And we don't leave it in the raw signal, we actually turn it into a concentration. So this is a very useful tool, probably when you want to know a result quite rapidly. So the manufacturing process may actually be going on, for example, or there may be some IQC or OQC going on, PQC. Then this is a tool that can give you a rapid result. Now I've got here the word cloud demo. So what I want to do then is I just want to stop sharing for a second. I'm actually there's going to be a couple of things going on. First of all, I'm going to do a demonstration. So I've got the Sensi All in front of me. In fact, on my phone at the moment, it does say resinferatoxin. So, and it also says device connected. So that's actually in Bluetooth connection with the meter here. Now, what I want to do is I just want to scan a different QR code so I can actually go and detect a molecule called gingerol. So I've now gone into gingerol. Now, gingerol is I wouldn't say so much benign. It could be quite pungent, but the safety assessment is slightly milder for using gingerol than it is for using resinferatoxin. So I sort of described that we would be using sensors. So I'll take the sensor. I'm going to take the sample. Now this is my sample. Now I know it's quite small on the screen, but there's actually just a little bit of insoluble material at the bottom of this. And that's one of the powers of electrochemistry, that I don't want to say it's not bothered, but the samples, unlike other analytical techniques where actually the sample has to be really quite purified, filtered, centrifuge, maybe gone through a column, etc. This electrochemistry is a much more robust science than I think people are normally robust analytical science than people are used to. So I'm just putting a name in here because I want to be able to find this data later on. So I've just put a quick name in there. What I'll now do is I'll take that 50 microliters that I mentioned. I will pipette this up. I'll put it on the sensor. It's gone onto the sensor. I'm just thinking aloud to myself. So if you think, so you can probably hear my thinking. I'm just telling it how diluted I made that sample. I actually diluted it 1,000 times. I'm just going to hit start. Now what you'll see now is it's literally streaming raw data to my phone. So I'm sort of capturing this raw signal. But this raw signal, we won't just leave you hanging with raw signal. It will actually send the data up to the cloud. But what's nice for the quality guys is, especially somebody who's kind of in active production, I'm just going to have a quick look at that number. The number is 56,500 ppm. So about 5% of this is essentially, in this case, is API, active pharmaceutical ingredient. Now, what I want to do, so I've got my sample there, and I just going to quickly go to a system called Julie, because it also says something else here. It says it's given me concentration, but it also says upload complete. So let me just share my screen with you. So upload complete definitely means something here. So if I go here and I just do a quick refresh, then I just got a quick jump up in data here. So some data just jumped up, and I'll just walk you through this very quickly. So the time and date is saved. So this is almost 20 past 8 in the morning in London, the 31st of January 2025. I can see the operator. I can actually fill these fields in, so I can actually add more details. I've got the raw signal here. I've got the processed signal here. So I've got the kind of what the concentration was, both in ppm and micromolar, the origin of that raw signal, which is the peak height. And if I was so wished, I could also just download a report as well. So you can really kind of, I could export that as a PDF, for example. So it's very traceable, I would say. So we get a couple of elements here. Easy to prepare samples, super fast to do the analysis, full traceability about who, what time, what date. We can even turn on a GPS. We have the concentration, we have the raw signal, we have reports, and I can dive into all sorts of details behind this. So there's a very good traceability on this. Now, what I want to do is, that was gingerol, because as I say, I'm not in a laboratory situation. But what I'm going to now do is I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to turn off my camera, and Solron's going to give you an actual demo on resinferatoxin and probably show you the same thing. Sample onto sensor, run the assay, raw signal up to the cloud, we get a concentration, and then probably do a handover back to me. So I'll stop sharing here, and I will turn off this camera as well. Hi, Solron. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as Martin said, my name is Solron, and I will show you a test of resinferatoxin. So I've got the same sensible device that Martin has, and I got a RTX sensor. So the first thing I will do is actually insert the sensor into the device. So just like this, and now it's connected. So you can see the app. My phone is right here. So I have already changed the test settings and chosen the assay and everything, but I can go into test settings and change the sample ID, etc. Just so that's easier for me to find the data later on. But I will click continue now that I have everything in order. And here is the instructions for how to proceed with the test. So we have a dilution factor of 10. And here I've got a vial with some RTX sample. So what I will do is, well, I've already placed and locked the cartridge into the device, just like the instruction says. I've mixed the sample well. And the next thing we're going to do is pipette 50 microliter of said sample onto the electrodes of the sensor. So I'll just pipette of the sample. Like this. Like that. And then I will pipette it onto the sensor. Just like this. And then I will click start measurements. So now the measurement is running, and you can already see some pre-scan on the screen. And you can also see that the device is blinking, which means that it's running in measurements. So the device is sort of indicating as well that something is happening. You can see, for instance, a blue blinking light if it needs to connect to the Bluetooth. And now you see that it turned green because the results are now ready. And now we have upload complete, which means that the results have been uploaded to Julie, which I will later show you. And then it also gives the micromolarity back, just for like a quick sort of results. So now I will go to Julie and I will show you the results online. So just like this. So my device is SIA 2001, so I will click this and I will just hit refresh so that it uploads the latest data. So as Martin was showing you, it gives you the date and the time. And then also the operator, which I filled in. And here is the raw data for you to see. If you go further down, you see all the peaks of this assay and what peak it is assessing to find out the concentration of our exact sample. And also, you can find the micromolarities down here. So if you can remember what the phone screen was telling you, you have the numbers here as well. So here's all the raw data. And if you see something is going wrong, you can see that from the raw data. And that is the strength of the raw data in fact. So I did a test before without any RTX on it. And here you can see that it looks very different. So yeah, it's very good to have that possibility with Julie. So back to you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. So what you've seen there is that Solron got just less than 1 millimolar of Resinferatoxin, RTX, in that particular sample. But as I said, as I showed with the gingerol as well, you put the sample on the sensor, you got the result. On the phones, it was like 900 micromolar. And then also there was also the raw signals also sent to the cloud as well. So there's a good traceability. So we've got this SenseIt All platform. Just this morning, we actually showed you that RTX is a formal, let's say, API, active pharmaceutical ingredient. We showed you the detection actually of two drug-like molecules. One of them is formally a drug-like molecule. We showed you the idea of this QR code, which actually governs what assay is being run. We showed you the sensor, and I just want to kind of broaden the conversation and say that it's not just gingerol and RTX. Many small pharmaceutical ingredients that are obviously being manufactured are detectable using this kind of technology. So I just want to say, if you've got any questions regarding specifically RTX or the detection and quantification of APIs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, during the manufacturing, or IQC, OQC, or PQC, then please don't hesitate to reach out to us at ZP. Okay, thanks very much.